Ah, it was a nice summer day. The birds were chirping, the sun was shining, and it looked like nothing could go better. Of course, there was this handsome detective sleeping in his hammock. Well, wait, why am I talking about myself in third person? So I was sleeping on this hammock. It was pretty relaxing, actually. I had a nice dream about donuts. So, I think... Wait, the phone rang. So I had to pick it up. I did the best I could, and I did pick it up. But when I said, "Hello?" no one answered. So, again I said, "Hello?" and again, no one answered. I thought maybe it was a phone joke or something, but I didn't understand why anyone would do something so cruel to me when I was having such a nice sleep. But then I heard, "Help! Help! There's been a murder! There's been a murder! On the street, on Rokotashenska Street! Come, quick! As fast as you can! We need help! There's been a murder!" So as fast as I could, I closed the phone, I put on my hat, started running. Okay, I might look stupid, but at least I'm safe, okay? So now, after I had finally reached my destination, I proceeded to open the door to investigate the crime scene. This is a complex door opening technique which can only be done by professionals, as it requires years of training to be able to open a door like this.
So after I opened the door, I proceeded to go inside. I had to see if this was a joke or there was really a murder. So I looked around. I couldn't see anything, but I could smell something horrible. Just when I was beginning to think it was a joke, I found it. I saw the legs of the victim. I feared not to look more. So I took 2 steps backwards and went out to search for the criminal who had done this horrible thing. I had to take a stroll through a park to think about where he could be hiding, where he could go. It wasn't easy to catch such a criminal mastermind. I wasn't sure where he could be hiding, but then I saw a man on the river. He was washing his hands with blood on them, and there was a gun sitting right next to him. So I figured he could probably be the murderer, but I wasn't sure. Had to ask. So I said, "Hey you!" And he looked up. He wasn't sure. He hid the gun as fast as he could and pretending as if nothing was happening. But I knew he was the murderer, so I asked him, "Are you the murderer?" And he said no. But that was the most cliché thing anyone would say. Of course he was lying, so I had to chase after him. He started running as fast as he could, so in order to catch him I had to use some incredible parkour skills that I had learned previously in my life. I jumped down the ledge and ran across the incredible rocks that were standing in my path, dodging all of them without any difficulty. But he shot back, he was shooting at me. I had to dodge the bullets as well in order to catch him and not die. It was almost impossible to keep up with him. He was going extremely fast, so I shot at him and tried to slow him down, but I missed, so he kept running and he kept getting away from me. When I saw there was no chance, I have to give up. I shot once more, but miserably missed again, and that's when I knew I had lost. He had ran away forever. He was lost. There was no chance of getting him. But, oh well. Seeing how I had no chance of finding this man ever again, or solving this crime mystery, I went to the nearest restaurant and ordered a Mars bar, because nothing tastes better after losing than a chocolate Mars bar. As I opened it and went to eat it, I sat down on a bench, and in front of me, guess who was there? Yes, it was the man, and he was playing on his phone. It was the killer. So I pointed my gun at him as fast as I could, and when he noticed, he just looked up and smiled. He didn't care. But then he pulled out his gun, and we were both looking at each other, pointing our guns, and the situation was getting very, very tense. After a while, one of us would be dead. The question was, who was it going to be? I figured out that if he shot, I was dead, and if I shot, he was dead. The thing is, none of us dared to shoot, so we were just standing there, aiming our weapons at each other, and none of us shot. Almost an hour has passed since I had eaten my Mars bar, and I figured that this was going nowhere, and I was getting very tired. I guess he did too, and then this happened.
Meet me tomorrow at this address.
The next morning I had to get ready to face the criminal, so I needed my watch. I also needed my hat in order not to get sunburned and to look awesome as usual, which I got easily, and if I were to defend myself against the criminal I would also need my gun, which I got in a snap of a finger. I had to find the address that he had told me to go to, so I did that as fast as possible and tried to get there very quickly. But when I got there, I saw something horrible. It was my cousin. And on the other hand, there was Nutella. They were both tied up, standing there, and not moving. This really frightened me. I didn't know how to react. What could I do? Which one should I save first? As I stood there, paralyzed, not knowing what to do, and just pointing my gun at the air, I felt someone behind me. It was a criminal. He said,
Choose one of them.
I had to choose one of them. I had to save one and leave the other. But of course I couldn't do that. It was a choice between Nutella and my cousin. How could I choose? It was impossible. I just stood there thinking what I could do. But then a plan occurred to me, and I closed my eyes. I loaded my gun, and as fast as I could I turned around and shot. But there was no one. He had disappeared. He was nowhere. I looked around, but where was he? He was gone forever. I never saw him again from that day, and that's when it all ended. Later that night, I found a note on my bed saying that if I were to look for him again, he would kill me, and the next time, he wouldn't give me a choice. That's why I gave up. I couldn't solve this crime, but at least I saved myself, and my cousin, and Nutella.